This is what's happening to millions of Canadians in 10 years under Stephen Harper. His idea is to give benefits to the wealthy.
We're back.
I've actually seen that 3 times today. It's made me laugh every time, which is good news. The new season of the Rick Mercer Report premieres tonight, so get ready for another season of cross-Canada hijinks and biting political satire. And in fact, he's joined us in the studio now, and I can't believe I just said hijinks.
It's not, I don't chuckle at my own show that often, but every time I watch Justin fall down the escalator, I chuckle.
Funny.
I'm sorry. It's not, that's what you call that's your highbrow, sophisticated satire right there. That's what that is.
Have you heard from any of his people? Because we've been running that clips through the day. Are they laughing as well?
I doubt it. I'm sure they're probably saying they are,
not as
but you know
hard.
what? You got to take your chances. If you're going to put your guy on an escalator, somewhere in your mind you got to think, what if someone knows a guy who looks like our guy and he can do pratfalls?
Good note to self.
Yeah.
So a new season begins. First of all, congratulations. 13
Thank you.
seasons of anything is a lot and a tribute to the work.
It's great to open and be in an election, so that's great.
So, you know, we've shown Justin Trudeau, but does everybody get a hit in the head tonight?
I don't set out
fair?
and say like, oh, I have to be an equal opportunity offender on every episode. Certain things just cry out to be parodied, like Justin on an escalator. But yeah, I spend my time talking about the Prime Minister. There is a rant element to the show, you know, and this is the first night back. We're in the middle of a cruel and unusually long campaign, and I thought my head was going to come off.
Gold?
Well, there's some stuff, but I thought my head was going to come off because I was just ranting at home all the time. So thankfully now I can get it out of my system. It's a valve. And yeah, so there's plenty to rant about, and maybe the Prime Minister comes up in that.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I was going to ask you, I mean, 13 seasons in the television business is a lot. And the bar has been set very high. You've had a very successful run in this show. How do you keep yourself motivated to make it new and interesting and different and yet the same for the people who want that?
Well, I'm very lucky that I love the job. So when you love the job, you never worry about going to work, and I love getting out on the road and traveling around the country, and you're right, there's a certain sameness to the show. The format has always remained the same, but it changes from week to week because one week I can be with a politician, although that doesn't happen that often, but the next week I could be with Jan Arden dangling out of a plane, and then the next week talking to an oyster fisherman or a clam fisherman. So it just changes so much from week to week, and it changes geographically and also the type of guests that I have.
You've also developed a real, I think, a profile as having causes outside of the show. There was the Spread the Net.
Yeah.
And now it's about vote. Whatever you do, vote.
Well, I've always loved politics, and I want politics to be better, and I want government to be better. So obviously, I want people to not only love politics, but to be engaged. And I want everyone to vote. And so we're launching something called votenation.ca on the show, and it's encouraging everyone to vote, but obviously there's an emphasis on young people because that's a demographic that doesn't vote. And it's very simple. We know this to be true, that voting is contagious. If you take a group of people and they don't vote for whatever reason, you put a voter in with them for a while, the chances of them all voting goes up dramatically. So it's important that you tell people you're voting because the non-voters in your life, and they're out there, they might vote. So what you do is you go to votenation.ca, and it allows you to take one of your photos, smiling photo, push a button, and boom, it imprints it with I will vote October 19th. Then you can share that on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you hang out.
And you're not saying who are you voting
No.
for? Just
In
the act
fact,
of
our
voting.
website doesn't have green or red or orange or blue or anything on it.
It's like election night. Those are all the colors I cannot wear.
Those colors are nowhere near it. It's a nonpartisan site. We're not telling people how to vote at all. I wouldn't do that.
I think we may even have a picture that we can show that
Show
demonstrates
one,
what you're talking
it
about.
looks really cool. See
Hey.
that? Look at that.
She's cute.
There you go. That's perfect. And you can share that. And you know what? We haven't even launched yet. We did a very soft launch just a matter of days ago on my Twitter account and stuff, and over 60,000 people have done this already. And we haven't even talked about it on television yet.
So you like politics, but honestly, why do you care if somebody else votes?
I want people to be engaged because then, once we get more people voting, then we can get to work on fixing Parliament. So it's going to be step by step by step. So once we get people voting and engaged, then maybe there'll be the appetite to fix Parliament and get better people to run.
Just to follow that thought, if you see on election night that voter turnout was low, as it often is.
As it often is.
Are we going to rant about that? Will it actually frustrate you as a Canadian?
To no end, because this is not my first time being involved in voter outreach programs or encouraging young people to vote, but it's something that hopefully I'll continue to do. And I just believe in my heart of hearts that one of these elections, it's just going to happen. Young people will vote, because the old excuse is that, oh, it's apathy, young people are apathetic, or they're selfish. I don't buy that. They're actually an incredibly engaged generation. They make consumer choices based on their ideological beliefs. You know, they make choices on their transportation methods. They make all sorts of choices. They put their money where their mouth is. They attend all sorts of events that are geared to support causes that they believe in. They will be engaged. They just don't vote. And I don't know why, but any point of contact that can encourage them to do it is pretty important.
Well, your voice will certainly help. Thanks for joining us on the show. Nice to see you.
Thank you, and I hope everyone goes to votenation.ca and uploads their picture.
And watches your show tonight. It's okay to
That
plug
too.
that too.
That too. 8 o'clock.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks.
The program is back, as Rick said, tonight at 8 p.m. on CBC Television. That's 8:30 in Newfoundland. And you can follow Rick's lead and commit to vote. Visit votenation.ca to change your profile picture. You can also visit cbcnews.ca/pledge to vote. Check out the CBC News mapping tool to see what issues other pledgers care about across Canada. Get involved in this conversation that so many are taking part in.